Good morning, good evening, and welcome back to another. This video we're going to be checking out a new premium that has arrived for China, the rank 7 main battle tank, the al-Khalid-i. With the intro completed, we're going to be driving out the al-Khalid-i for our first game. Now, here we are on the first game, which is taking place on the winter version of the map Maginot line. Now, what is the al-Khalid-i? This is a new premium vehicle that was introduced for the Chinese ground tech tree in the latest major update, Dance of Dragons. So the al-Khalid-i is a Pakistani version of a tank that we already have in the game. The al-Khalid-i is based off the Chinese MBT-2000 that was introduced a couple patches ago. Now, what are the differences between the al-Khalid-i and the MBT-2000? There aren't really any differences. The big difference is that the al-Khalid-i is a premium vehicle and thus having access to better RP and silver line modifiers. But if you just take combat performance in the game, there are one difference. The big difference is that the al-Khalid-i has a bit better survivability, considering that it has access to some ERA panels on the side of the turret. Now, is this going to make a huge difference when you're playing the tank? It's not. The ERA plates mostly protect from heat and chemical rounds, but most of the tanks you're gonna be facing at 10.7 and around that battle rating will be using a PFSDs or kinetic rounds, and the ERA you have access to will not be stopping that. So if you basically want to feel and try to play the al-Khalid-i before buying the tank, you should try to play the Chinese MBT-2000 because that will basically tell you how this tank will perform in a game. Now, looking at the strong suits of this tank, I would definitely have to say the mobility is the biggest advantageous thing for this tank. You have a fantastic engine and transmission, which allows you to go at a top speed of 70 km per hour forward and 35 km backwards. Now, this is great considering this is a Chinese vehicle, which haven't been the fastest up to 10.7. It also is inspired by the Soviet style, which means this also has a fantastic reverse speed. Now, the firepower is also pretty fantastic. You have a powerful 125 with a autoloader, which reloads in about 7 seconds. The APFSDs round that you have access to is the DTC 10 125. It goes through around 570mm point blank range, which gives you great firepower and you will be able to deal with most of the tanks you face without any major issues. Now, the big downside to this tank I have felt like when I played this tank, I played this tank for around 100 games when editing this video. It's definitely the survivability of this tank. You're not gonna survive shots. Considering that you have 3 crew members, you're gonna be dying quicker. The armor also is not great, I haven't felt like. Most of the shots you're gonna take, you're not gonna be able to bounce, and when you take shots, most of them are going to disable the autoloader, which means you won't be able to fire. And if the autoloader doesn't go, the breach and the chirping always goes. So Avocado, is this even worth buying considering the big downside? Well, I would have to say no actually. No premium pack or tank, aircraft or helicopters in my opinion are worth $70, which this tank costs. If it's on sale, I would definitely buy it considering that it's a fantastic tank overall, and it will also be able to fully complete the Chinese tech tree if you want to. So my recommendation would to be buy this only when it's on sale, since spending $70 on a tank is kinda absurd in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on the Al-Khalid one. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and I would love to see what you think of the tank when playing it or having gone up against it. Now, getting back into the game, we did get quite ambushed by a small little tank, and then we also murdered a artwork. But as you've seen in the game that has played out before you, you have very good mobility, you have very good firepower. But now this game is pretty much over. The enemy have lost all 3 capture points, and they don't have many players remaining, so now it's just time to kinda get the remaining kills finished up. We do shoot a leopard to a 4 in the back, and then we're gonna continue moving forward. Now, just kind of wandering around on the hill, we find a M163. So that is a very easy kill for us to get, and we're just going to kind of continue staying in this position. As you saw, there was a tank who smoked up right in front of us, and as you can see here, I'm just kind of looking at this tank because the tank I'm staring at has kind of stayed in the same position all game, so he went directly to spawn camp. I don't know really what he was doing, but as you can see, don't do that, just a dick move. Don't just go directly to spawn camp someone. But my squad mate actually pings someone over there, and we find the guy who smoked up. And when he pulls forward, it's quite an easy shot into the side of his tank. With the Heavy Metal Hero Award being awarded to us, we take first place in this game with a pretty clean victory. Now, taking first place in the team with 10 kills total, we managed to earn a total of 17,680 research points and 140,690 silver lions. So for the second game, it's not a very high kill game, but I thought it would be interesting to show it nonetheless. This is my favorite map. It's just so great. I think you have a lot of different angles you can just go to. I just love this map. So the first we're gonna do is just kinda use our thermals, stop everybody that's trying to flank around the A capture point. We mobility kill this M1 KVT and follow-up shot does kill him. Now we did see a clickbait kind of sneak through, but we're going to leave him to our teammates. Now I'm not really sure what this leopard was doing, but our shot just goes straight through his driver's hatch and we kill him as well. Now with that cleared, we're going to push forward to this rock right over here. The rock in front of us gives us great cover, and it also allows us to kind of peek over to Bravo and Alpha. Now we see the M1 KVT just kind of standing here, so I'm gonna make sure he doesn't go anywhere, and the follow-up shot I'm aiming right for his ammunition, and that does kill him. The first shot I did was to just make sure if the second shot failed that he wasn't gonna kinda sneak away. Now we see a Puma right here. The first shot gets eaten by a tiny fucking snare. I really don't know how that just ate it. But the second shot does mobility kill him, and we're gonna load some high explosive, and that just gets eaten by another goddamn tiny metal staircase. So we're just gonna push forward. I can't stay there and just waste a bunch of ammunition on them. We do get shot as well from there. Luckily they didn't do any damage to us. But now we know there are enemies there, so we are going to need to kind of push forward and get rid of them. Now I am kind of worried about the other side. The Charlie point has been completely overrun by enemies, so I was kind of afraid to pull forward. Now we see another clickbait. We mostly disable him, most of his vital parts are damaged, and the follow-up shot is gonna take care of him pretty quickly. Now the front here is clear. I don't hear any engine noises to my left, so I can know that the immediate left is clear. Now I'm going to move over to Bravo point to give us the advantage when it comes to tickets. And we see a leopard. Now this is what I was worried about previously, since the enemies can just kinda swarm out over there and it's very hard for me to notice them. So I am very happy that I managed to kill a leopard. Now we're gonna just hide behind the tent and we're gonna capture Bravo. As you can see, there was an enemy who had sneaked up behind, so the first thing we're gonna do is try to eliminate him since we don't want any enemies behind us. And when we turn, we get shot in the ass. And as you can see, this did destroy our autoloader, which I was talking about in the previous game. So we're quickly going to repair, but the enemy just follows us around the corner, and we see that it's a CV90, the premium version. So we're just gonna swing around right here, and we're gonna wait for him to appear, and he actually just does go forward, and that means we get the kill. Now this isn't an ideal position to repair in, but since there are enemies kind of all around us, I just want the repair to get done as quickly as possible. So that's why I decided to just kind of repair here, since I didn't want to wait any longer than necessary. Now, after repairing, we went on to capture Bravo again, and by the time that was done, the game was basically over. With only a few players remaining on the enemy team, we swarmed forward to try to secure any more kills. And that concludes the second game for this video. With only 6 kills, we still earn a total of 13,618 research points and 120,909 silver lions. That is also the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned as there will be more content to come about War Thunder in the near future. Until next time, take care.